All right, let us perform a lab exercise on VPC, that is virtual private cloud. We'll be creating a virtual private cloud as well as we will be doing the VPC peering. So we'll be clubbing the two virtual private clouds, exchange the data between two virtual private clouds. So you can see these are all the components that are available with VPC, virtual private cloud. The moment we create our AWS root account, these are all the each and every region that gets a VPC, virtual private cloud. Amazon will create a default VPC for each and every region where we can work with. And each virtual private cloud has got all these components embedded into it. A CIDR block, IP address subnets, implied router, routing table, internet gateway, security groups, NACL, that is network access control list, virtual private gateway, peering connection, elastic IP address, all these things. Till date, we never touched upon any of these topics. However, we used to pick the default VPC, virtual private cloud, and create our EC2 instance, get connect, use that internet connection inside that virtual machine, correct? So all these things, all these components, we are going to create it manually. We will be hosting our EC2 instance with a private subnet. Okay, that is what we are going to perform today in today's class. While performing this lab exercise, let us touch upon each and every topic, what exactly it is, what is VPC, what is subnet, what is route table, like that. All right. So to begin with, I logged in back to AWS Management Console. Here, we will be creating a virtual private cloud, a private entity. May I know anyone is performing this lab exercise along with me, so that I will wait till you perform that step. Anyone?
Yes, sir. I'm doing it, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay, at the search bar, please type VPC and select the option, the service VPC, virtual private cloud. So here, once again, to recall what is VPC, it is a virtual private cloud. It is a private cloud computing environment hosted within a public cloud. So we will be creating our own private cloud computing environment. So here you can see this virtual private cloud will be created in North California region. Please make this as point underlined. VPC's virtual private clouds are tagged to a region. So that means the virtual private cloud lab exercise, what we are creating now here in North California region, if you go to another region, maybe Mumbai or Asia Pacific, where this VPC will not be visible. However, the same VPC can be used with all the availability zones tagged in that specific region. So we are in the VPC dashboard. We are creating a new VPC. Okay, I clicked on create VPC. This is the new option feature that has been added, VPC and more. Here with this feature, there are so many default settings are added by AWS. So we will not have option to go with minute settings. So we don't want to go with the recent update feature. We will go with the old one itself. Okay, so with this, we will be creating a private cloud. All right. So to begin with, we will have to provide the name for this virtual private cloud. I will call it in my name, Satya VPC. And IPv4 CIDR block, CIDR is referred to as CIDR. The abbreviation is CIDR, stands for classless inter-domain routing. So it is a method of allocating IP addresses for IP routing purpose. Okay, so here in the CIDR, it looks like our typical normal IP addresses, but except it has got a numeric number at the end. Do you see here in this example, it says 10.0.0.0/24. So this /24 refers to the, it is called a CIDR. So this /24 indicates how many computers, how many IP addresses can be allocated. That means how many computers can be allocated in this particular IP address range. It is like, let us say, a classroom. In a classroom, how many students can be seated? Similarly, if you take our private network, this is Satya VPC. In this, how many computers, devices can be attached? These devices can be your laptop, your desktop, network printer, access point, that is wireless routers, mobile devices, tablets, any device that gets connected to this VPC will be assigned with a IP address. So this /24 will go anywhere about 6,000 to 8,000 hosts can be created. In a /17, we can create somewhere around 32,000 change, 32 to be precise, 32,766 network hosts can be created in place of this 10.0.0.0/17. If I make it, I can create 32,766 network hosts I can create. So this you can go anywhere from ranging from number 1 to number 32. That is 32 is the max limit. So if you provide 32, you can have only one IP address. Okay, the lower the number here, the CIDR, the more number of network IP addresses or hosts that you can create. Okay, so here we will be creating a network CIDR block. I will go with the IP address. I will give my own specific IP address, custom IP address, 172.31.0.0/16. So whoever is performing, please, you can go with the same IP address so that all of us will be on the same page. So my CIDR block is /16. The IP address what I gave is 172.31.0.0.
In the same region, we need to perform this?
Yes, correct.
In the California?
Yes, correct. You can give this in any region of your choice. So within that region, you are creating additional virtual private cloud. There is already a default virtual private cloud. I don't want to use that. I will have a custom VPC, virtual private cloud, I will create. That is what it is. Okay, so no IPv6 CIDR block. I'm not providing IPv6. There are two types of IPv address are available: IPv4 version 4 and version 6. This is the higher end version. I will go with IPv4. This is the default IPv4 version available. I will go with that. Tenancy, I will go with default tenancy setting. What is this tenancy all about? Tenancy says how you want this VPC to be created. That means if we go back to our previous pictorial presentation, here this is these are all tenants: tenant 1, tenant 2, tenant 3, tenant 4, tenant 5, tenant 6. Whether you want the setup like this, whether you want to share this physical server with others, or you want to have a dedicated server for yourself, you own this entire dedicated server. How you want the setup? So we will go with the default tenancy. We don't want to go for dedicated because it is chargeable. And click on create VPC. It is that simple. Okay. So our virtual private cloud is created. This virtual private cloud is not in a workable condition. We just created a virtual private cloud, but when you try to attach this virtual private cloud to your EC2 instance, that EC2 instance will not have internet connection. You will not be able to access that EC2 instance. Why? Because that EC2 instance is not having an internet connection at all. I will show you where to select this. Friends, did you able to create this VPC? Any doubts?
Yeah, I have created.
Okay, good. So I will stop it here. You need not to perform the next step, what I'm doing, the immediate step. I just want to show you. Okay, where do we see this EC2? Sorry, where do we see this VPC? I'm creating a EC2 instance. So here my EC2 dashboard is clean, correct? There are no instances running, nothing is there. Security group, there are 2 security groups. Let me check. Yes, these security groups, usually there will be only one security group default. You remember, we just created a VPC. For that VPC, a new security group has been added. All right. So the above one, this is the new security group. The below one is the old one. There are 3 entities are already available. You need not to perform these steps. So I'm creating a EC2 instance. I'll just give some name. I'm so sorry, it is in security group. Sorry. I'm launching a new instance. Any operating system, your choice, you can select. So if you do not perform anything straight away, go ahead, you create a key pair and click on launch instance. Your virtual machine gets created under the default security, default virtual private cloud that you have created. We don't want to do that. We want to go and create this virtual machine under this new virtual private cloud, what we have created. So if I select this new virtual private cloud, that customized virtual private cloud, what we have created, all our resources, everything will be here. But as of now, this virtual private cloud, what we have created, you can see this IP address 172.31.0.0/16, correct? That is the subnet, what has been created. Similarly, if you go for the default one, the default VPC also is having the same IP address range. That doesn't matter. All right. So here in the new VPC, what I created, in which particular availability zone you want to host it. There is no availability zone as of now. Correct? Because we did not create any as of now. That is what we are going to perform that. We are going to create a separate subnet which falls under this particular IP address range 172.31.0.0. In this range, network address range, it will fall. So we'll be creating network security. We'll be creating all the components like CIDR we just selected. We'll be creating a routing table, internet gateway, security group, virtual private gateway. All these components we are going to create manually. All right. So let me take you back to VPC dashboard where we left. So we have created the VPC virtual private cloud. Here you can see there are two VPCs are available. This is the default one, the above one. The below one is what I created. This is my private VPC. Okay. So on the left panel, do you see the subnet, routing table, internet gateway? All these components we are going to create now, one after the another. So to begin with, we have created a VPC. So we are done with this, the first component. The next component is subnets. Subnets are like our availability zones. Whereas here, by selecting the subnet, we will not be in a position to create another availability zone. Within the availability zone, another portion will be set aside, will be created. But in the real-time scenario, each subnet, the default subnets, whatever you see, indicates a separate availability zone. Okay, so we are going to create a subnet now. Click on subnet. Select the VPC, under which particular VPC you want to create this subnet. So we want to create under our private VPC, correct? So I have selected, you can see here, this is the CIDR block, which is available. So I need to provide the subnet name. I will give to make it simpler, I will give my own name. Availability zone, where exactly you want to create this subnet. So in my region, North California, there are only two availability zones are there. I will go with US West 1. And what is the network block that you need to provide? So how many IP addresses that you want to provide? So here we have /16. So I will go with /20. I will give the IP address as maybe 172 dot. This is 172.31, right? Okay, 172.31 dot maybe 16.0. So here I have a 24 and 32. I will go with a much bigger block, 20. Okay, so this is the subnet size that I'm providing. So with this, I'll be creating a subnet. Create a subnet. So now we can see the subnet has been created. This is the CIDR block range 172.31.16.0/20. Now we have created a subnet. What actually a subnet is? A subnet is a logical subdivision of an IP address. So subnetting breaks up a larger network into smaller parts. The smaller the network created, smaller the broadcast that generates less broadcast traffic. To understand that, to try to touch upon in a layman's way, let us say in your city, a particular area that has got a pin code, right? I will take the example of Bengaluru. In Bengaluru, MG Road is one area. The pin code is 560001. This 560001 pin code, anyone who sends a letter, the written letter, postcard, with a pin code of 560001, that goes to the postal department office situated in MG Road area, wherein there could be about 50,000 both residential as well as business establishments with unique door number and the address. That pin code 560001 indicates how many individual postal addresses are there. It is like that. Got it? So subnet indicates a particular block or an area where how many residential as well as the business establishments are there. It is something like that when it comes to the networking. So here we have created a VPC and we have created a subnet. So the next one is we will be creating a route table. Before route table, we'll create an internet gateway and then come back to the route gateway. Route tables. We can also go with the same sequence. Route table we can create, then we can go to internet gateway, but it is better to create an internet gateway because both of them are interlinked. So the third step is internet gateway. Before we move on, may I know, are we all on the same page? Anyone else want assistance, help, or should I hold it for some time till you complete this task?
I'm good, sir.
Okay. So I hope all of you created a VPC and a subnet. Now we are creating the internet gateway. Click on internet gateway. And there is already a default internet gateway available. We are creating on the top of it one more. This is our custom internet gateway. I will go with my own name. I will call it Satya-IG. IG stands for Internet Gateway. In short, I had given. And just click on Create Internet Gateway. It is that simple. So let us try to understand what is an Internet Gateway. It is a network device that serves as an access point to another network. What does that mean? We all have our broadband connection at home, right? Most of us, or if not, you may be using your mobile internet connection, the same mobile internet connection you are sharing with your laptop or desktop to access the internet. Now, the broadband router hardware device, what you see at home or office, where the internet connection is there. From there, the internet connection is further divided to each and every devices or access point in your place. This broadband router is called the internet gateway. Okay, this will provide the internet connection to all the devices that are there in that particular room or in that particular location. So the external internet connection comes through the wire and that ends at the broadband router or maybe your mobile handset. From there, the internet connection further it is distributed among other devices. So this broadband router here we call it as internet gateway. So that internet gateway device is what we just created now. So this internet gateway is a software based router. So this will route the internet traffic. What is that routing the traffic? When you have connected to your home network, you are accessing the internet. All your requests, if you type www.google.com, that request goes through the broadband hardware router, what you see at home. From there, it goes to the internet. So that is what the internet gateway. So now do you see here attach a VPC? Correct? So please click on that attach a VPC. So the internet gateway, what we have created, we are attaching this device to the virtual private cloud, the private cloud what we have created. So you will see the virtual private cloud what you have created. Please select that, click on attach internet gateway. So if this is not attached, you will not have the internet connection to your virtual machine when this particular private VPC is selected. May I know, did you all able to perform this step?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, good. Now we have connected, we have created the internet gateway and also attached to our virtual private cloud. Further, let us create a routing table. So you remember, I was telling you that we will skip this step for time being. Let us create internet gateway and then come back to routing table. That is what we are doing now. So please select the route table. It is also called as a routing table. We already have two routing tables available, one for the default VPC that was created, and one more for the new VPC what we have created. Here you can see the VPCs. This is the default VPC that was provided by AWS. This is the separate VPC that I created. Okay, so let us click on create route table. I need to give the route table name. I'll go with the same my default name. I will give it RT, stands for route table, and select the VPC where you want to attach this route table, under which particular private cloud you want to create. Obviously my own private cloud, correct? So I have selected my own private cloud. Click on create route table. It is that simple. So the now route table has been created. Before proceeding further, let us try to understand what is a route table is. A routing table helps computers to communicate with other computers that are not in the same network or subnet. Now we have two VPCs here. From one VPC to another VPC, if you want to communicate, if you want to talk, there should be a routing table. So whenever one node or a computer sends a data, or say simply a hi message to another computer in the same network, first it should know where to send that hi message, correct? So suppose I want to give a call to any one of your number. First and foremost thing is I should have your number stored in my phone, or at least I should know your phone number, correct? Without that, I cannot dial your phone. I cannot reach you. Here in my mobile, if I open my contact list, I can save all your independent individual names. I can store it without the contact number, correct? It is not mandatory that I will have to provide your phone number to save your contact name. No, I can simply save your contact name without the phone number attached. So with that, will I be able to dial your number? Will I be able to reach you by selecting the name and try to dial? No, right? It should have a phone number attached, correct? That phone number is what the IP address, correct? And this contact option, what you have selected, that is the routing table. In that routing table, there are so many contact numbers along with the names attached. So either you can choose with the name or you can choose with the number, you'll be able to dial. If number is missed, number is not there, then you will not be able to dial. That is what exactly the routing table does. In the routing table, it has got all the computers' IP addresses as well as the MAC address of the devices that are there in the same network. So that is what the routing table we just created. So let us check the routing table that has been created. Is it available? Yes, it is available. You can see the new routing table that has been created. So all of you, are we all on the same page?
Yes.
Okay, the next step is a very, very important step. This is mandatory. Please follow my instructions. So onto the left side panel, I have selected the route table. I clicked on the route table, and onto the right hand side, you can see the routing table that has been created. I highlighted that routing table. Down below, you will see the details, routes, subnet association, all these options, right? We need to assign this routing table that we have created to the subnet. Which subnet? That means when you're typing www.google.com, that information has to pass through which particular subnet. That is what we are associating now. So select the subnet association option. Click on edit subnet association. So here you will see the default subnet that you have created under this VPC with this CIDR block, correct? Select that, click on Save Association. So that means we have attached the subnet that we have created to this routing table. That means the internet will be functioning. All right. So once again, please select the routing table that we have created. Subnet association we already did. You can see here the subnet association that has been done. It is visible. Now click on to the routes, the besides option, which is there. And we will provide the route access also. By default, yes, there is one route available, 172.31.0.0/16 is the CIDR. Let us add one more route that is for default, that is for any place. This is the first one, 0.0.0.0/0. That means anywhere from the world, they will be able to access this computer network. Provide that and click on that target. Select the internet gateway. Remember, we have created an internet gateway. That name will be reflected here. So please select that internet gateway. Click on save. Save changes. So what happens? The internet connection, whatever you are trying to access in your virtual machine, that internet connection goes through this internet gateway, through this IP address range. Click on save changes. So now the routing has been completed. With this, we have created the basic setup of virtual private cloud. These are all the components. I'm sorry. Please go
Can
ahead.
you please show me the subnet association once again?
Yes, sure. So let me start over. Here on the routing tables, I have selected the routing table. So select the routing table that you have already created, correct? Click
Yes.
on subnet association. So onto the extreme right, you have edit subnet association. Select that. You will see this subnet already provided without this check mark. It is not actually, it was not selected. Now here in the down below, you can see subnets, selected subnets. This has been already selected. If you remove that, that will go. If I click on save, it will be removed. The association will be removed. So once you select that, click on save association, you will see this below one that gets associated. Okay, this is about subnet association. After associating the subnet, we will have to enable the routing. So select the routes, click on edit routes. So here you provide that 0.0.0. You need to click on add route and provide this 0.0.0.0/0 CIDR. At the target, click on the internet gateway. That means like this. Select internet gateway. The internet gateway, whatever we have created earlier, that will display. Select that, click on save changes. All right. Any doubts, clarification here?
No, sir.
One
Okay.
minute, please.
Okay. All right, with this, we have created our default virtual private cloud with all the components that are needed, like subnets, routing table, internet gateway, and we made complete setup. Now the time is, we need to check whether this VPC is working fine or not. To do that, we will go ahead, create a EC2 instance. Let us come to the search bar, provide EC2, search for EC2. We are in EC2 dashboard. Here I can see my EC2 dashboard is clean. There are no EC2 instances created, correct? I'll be launching an EC2 instance. my VP's, my EC2 instance name, I will call it as maybe VPC Lab VM. I will select a Windows operating system.
హలో ఇంట్లో ఉంది కానీ నేను లోపల కానీ ఆ కారు మొన్న వాళ్ళు
could you please mute yourself, gentlemen? So I have provided the virtual machine name as VPC Lab. I have selected the operating system as Microsoft Windows.
సరే సరే.
Okay, next I will provide the key pair. Yes, obviously we will go with .pem. This is for Windows based virtual machine. I will save it onto my desktop. And here is the most important thing. Under network settings, click on edit. Here by default, it is there in default VPC. We are going to change that to the VPC what we have created. Okay. And the subnet, whatever we have created, that subnet has already come up with the name what I provided. And this is most important option. By default, the public IP address will be disabled in the new VPCs what we create. Same time, if you select the default VPC, the public IP address will be default, it will be enabled always. Please make this point underlined. Okay, so we are not going with the default VPC. We are creating, we are selecting the private VPC what we have created. Under beneath that, the subnet has been already selected. Public IP address is disabled. We will have to enable it. If you leave it as it is with a disabled status, there is no public IP address gets attached to your virtual machine, then you will not be able to log into your virtual machine.
Can you please show me from EC2 launching?
Okay. So now security group, I will create a new security group. Okay, I will give VPC-SD stands for security group. The description also I will provide the same name. It is not mandatory. RDP is enabled. This should be more than enough. We are not creating a web server, so no need to add HTTP port. So just click on launch instance. So our virtual machine is getting created. We'll click on view all instances. So now we can see the new virtual machine is getting created. The instance state is pending. And let us wait for the status check to pass 2/2. All right, the virtual machine is up and running. You can see the status check 2/2 status check is passed. Let me select this virtual machine so that I will see the public IP address. This is the public IP address. Let us choose the shortest way to connect to this virtual machine. I selected this virtual machine and selecting this connect option, connect button. Further, select the RDP client. We need the password to log into this virtual machine. Click on get password. Browse the file, the PPK file, a PEM file, what you have downloaded. Click on decrypt the password button. So you have the password. So this is the password. Now we need to log into this virtual machine that we have created. Click on download remote desktop file. I will save it onto desktop. The file has been downloaded. Click on open. The default username will be administrator, and I will have to provide the password. Remember, the password here I have already selected, correct? So this is the password. So I'm logging into this virtual machine. So I'm logging into this virtual machine now. I just logged into this virtual machine. This indicates that all the components that we created under VPC are functioning all right. That is the reason why we are successfully able to log in. Further, let us check, is there an internet connection established? Is there an internet connection? Yes or no? Okay, that is most important thing. Let us launch Server Manager and disable the internet security feature, IE security feature that will be default enabled, IE enhanced security configuration. You can see that here. Okay, it is on now. Correct, that we will disable it so that the pop-up message will not be keep coming up whenever you open the internet. Whenever you try to access the internet, it will not be keep troubling you. So now we can see the internet security configuration is set to off. Okay, so let me open Internet Explorer. So if all good, if all the components are functioning all right, we should be able to see the web page opening. The internet is working. Good, now we can see the internet is working. This indicates that the VPC, the private VPC, what we have created, the components that we added are all perfect. Okay, there is an internet connection. We are able to log into this virtual machine. All good. Okay, this concludes, with this we'll be concluding this lab exercise. Before we move on to the next lab exercise, let us try to delete or remove one of the component of the private VPC what we have created. You will notice the moment you disable or remove that particular component, you will lose the internet access. Okay, let's try that. Now, once again, I'm back to AWS Management Console. Let me take you back to VPC dashboard. Here, one of the component that we attach to the VPC that I will remove it. Maybe we can go to a routing table. Select the routing table. Maybe remove the subnet association or remove the route itself. Let's see, can we remove the subnet association? Since the virtual machine is still up and running in the backend, can we do it? Yes. So we have removed the subnet association for this routing table. Okay. I am trying to log in back to the virtual machine. I do not have access. So with this, we have successfully completed this lab exercise. we will move on to the next lab exercise, which is next higher version of this VPC, whatever we have created. All right.